Hey everyone, I just got back from seeing the latest Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And I'm very, very anxious to give you my review of this movie before you go see it. It's fucking horrible! I can't believe how bad this movie is. I'm serious, like, everyone else in that theater was entertained, and it was just horrible! I don't even know where to start with this thing, like... Okay, first off, we're talking about a movie that George Lucas originally wanted to call, like, Indiana Jones and the Saucer Men from Mars or something, like, that's like the stupidest title I ever heard, right? Well, guess what? That's the movie he made. And that's not a spoiler, although spoilers are coming up. I mean, they tell you that in the first 5 minutes, okay? It's basically Indiana Jones and the aliens, okay? So... basically what happens is Indiana Jones is way older, right? So he can't fight Nazis anymore. So he's fighting communists. And by that I mean Kate Blanchett, who's actually looking really, really hot. I mean, you wouldn't really think communism would be that sexy. But man, she makes that jumpsuit work, okay? I'd still hit it. So, anyway, she wants this alien mummy that's in that thing you see at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark where all the Ark of the Covenant is and all those other items. And by the way, yeah, you see the Ark. And you know why you see the Ark? Is because most of this movie is a direct ripoff of Raiders, okay? Right down to the ending. It's basically like, it's like if you took a really bad Xerox copy of Raiders and then had George Lucas wipe his ass with it. That's basically what you get. So... I'm eating my dinner. I had to Wendy's. I had to get some chocolate because I was just feeling so pissed off about this movie. So, the secret behind the Crystal Skull, part of it is that it's highly, highly magnetic. So the way... They keep going back to this thing where they keep talking about how the skull is magnetic. So he can throw gunpowder in the air, and the gunpowder flies off and finds the skull. And whenever they take the skull out, all of a sudden, like, bullets and dog tags and glasses will fly off and hit the thing. Only the thing is, the skull is kind of randomly magnetic. Continuity is all over the place on this skull. For instance, like, you'll see all sorts of metal items around the skull that don't get attracted to it, like guns only get sometimes attracted to it. Coins. Apparently it only becomes really magnetic when you uncover the burlap cloth that covers it. There's this one scene where William Hurt is walking around this room with all this treasure and there's gold and stuff like that. He whips the cloth off and all of a sudden all the coins start following him. Only in other things like similar things of the same metal and same size will just fly across the room and stick to the skull. I don't know why. So basically the communists get the Crystal Skull and they get away scot-free. So Indiana Jones is kind of defeated, right? He goes back to his school, and he's accused of being a communist by the janitor from Scrubs, which, you know what? You know, me and my brother were sitting there, we still had endless fun just making janitor from Scrubs jokes. But, anyway, he gets contacted by Shia LaButtfuck, this guy who's only put in the movie to make the movie marketable. I imagine that was like one of the conditions from the studio to get money. He's like, oh, we got to put somebody young in there. How about that guy from Suspiria? What was it? Disturbia, that piece of shit Rear Window knockoff. So Shia LaBeouf is, of course, they kind of lead this up to the very end, like it's going to be some kind of big shocker when he's obviously Indy's son, and the only reason he's in there is so they can involve Marion, who comes back from the first movie. And you kind of think, oh, that's pretty cool. You're going to see Marion again. I liked her a lot in the first movie. She's pretty good. But no, they don't do anything with her. All she does is she drives a fucking Humvee, or a Jeep, or whatever you call it. You'd think they'd kind of resolve all those issues they have from the first movie, or kind of close that love triangle. And they do, but they don't ever talk. They don't ever sit around and they don't discuss things. They're just like, oh, you're kidnapped again. Guess I gotta save you, huh? It's terrible. And the other thing is, I kind of lose track of the crystal skulls. I never got how many skulls there were supposed to be. Apparently there's supposed to be like 7, and they have to return the skulls to this temple in South America. Okay, fine. It's ludicrous, but fine. So, all of a sudden, Indy goes to South America to track down this other professor, only to find the professor's hidden the skull in a temple under some Spanish conquistador. So he takes the skull out, and Of course, using the magnetic thing, and all of a sudden he's got a skull. Well, what happened to the other skull that the communists got? Did William Hurt steal it and hide it? And when did he do this? And when when they get out of the tomb, the communists capture him again, and then all of a sudden they have the skull, and then Cate Blanchett's character shows him the body of an actual alien. And like she starts like lifting the alien's head up and down and like twisting its neck around to show him the truth, like there really are aliens indeed. So does that alien have crystal bones too? Like, does it have a crystal skull? So I mean, when they get to the very final room, of course, there's this big thing where they have to put all the skulls back, but there's only one skull missing. So was there only one skull missing, or were there two? I never got that. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but it was like fucked up. But I mean, people will kind of be entertained. I mean, it's Spielberg. Even like the bare minimum Spielberg, when Spielberg makes a giant piece of shit, for him anyway, it's still pretty good. But that's the thing, it's just adequate. It's adequate. By that I mean, yeah, you watch it, you're gonna get the Indiana Jones experience, I guess. I mean, you've got Harrison Ford, you've got Marion, you've got kind of the same thing. You got the theme, you got the John Williams theme. But it's just, Indiana Jones should be glorious. It should be awesome. This movie doesn't even belong on the same tier as the other three movies. Watch any one of those movies, even Temple of Doom. And by the way, I'm really sick of people bashing on Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is fucking hardcore. Like that dude who rips the guy's heart out. That's one of the best effects I've ever seen. That he really like, Moji Hado, Moji Hado, and he pulls that thing out and his head bursts into flames. He's like, ha 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 ha. That's great. How can you not like that? Okay, maybe you don't like Short Round. Maybe you don't like Kate Capshaw. They're kind of annoying, but whatever. Even at its worst, the Indiana Jones movies were still exciting. There was still a sense of menace. Cate Blanchett, still hot, but you never really felt scared by her. Not like you did that Nazi guy in the first movie. That guy was fucking chilling. Can you believe that guy? It just kind of felt like they were going through the motions. Kind of like they were doing like a... You know what it was like? It was like watching a Brady Bunch family reunion. Only... You know, it was kind of like that same hammy acting, and it was kind of like a half-hearted script. You never felt like their hearts were really into it. They were just kind of like happy to be in the same room doing kind of one last gig together. Okay, fine. But in this case, like half the actors didn't even agree to appear. In the case of Denholm Elliott, the guy who played Marcus, he's dead. Which, you know, really should have been the nail in the coffin for that series anyway. I mean, he was a really good recurring character. He was a very nice... entry. They couldn't get John Rhys Davies, the guy who played Sala, who really came into his own in Last Crusade. I mean, he was a really likable character. He was just like the right-hand man to Indy. In this case, Sala is replaced by Ray Winston, the guy who played Beowulf. You know, we were making Beowulf jokes the entire movie, too. But, I mean, you couldn't even get John Rhys Davies. The guy appeared in an Uwe Boll movie. He appeared in Dungeon Siege, and he wouldn't appear in this piece of shit. What does that tell you? I can't believe it. And the ending rips off Raiders. Like, they put the crystal skulls back, and of course, you know, the communists are there in the room. Just like, you know, the bad guys are kind of victorious up to the end. Everything looks lost. They put the skull back, and the aliens tell them, like, oh, we're going to give you this reward. We're going to give you this gigantic reward. And of course that reward is they melt her fucking head. Where did you see that before? It turns out the aliens are gigantic assholes. Because, like, even when... They still consider it some kind of gift, and even at the end, Indy's like, well, they wanted to give us this fantastic gift, all the knowledge in the world and stuff like that. Well, why then does the alien, when it's given her all this knowledge and is melting her head, the alien's giving her this look like... I just don't understand. It's horrible. I don't know what else to tell you about this movie, but... Oh, like, for some reason, the cinematography is god-awful. It just doesn't seem like an indie movie when you're watching it. For some reason, it looks like every time they're not in a wide shot, it just looks like they're either in front of a matte painting or in front of a green screen or in some kind of studio. The movie just feels claustrophobic. Everything looks like there's just no depth to it.